Hello and welcome to a new week of how to make the right decisions. Now, there are two kinds of decisions we make, intuitively or analytically. What's the difference? Well, intuitively, you just make it like that. Analytically, you think through your decision and decide what you need to do eventually. Now, what is an analytical decision? It's logical, it's deliberate, it's based on data and reasoning. Intuitive is quick, instinctive, and based on experiences or gut feeling. Analytical decisions are based on accuracy, structure, and to help reduce errors. It can, of course, be challenging. It can be over analysis, in fact, paralysis by analysis, as they call it. You keep on looking at data, keep on looking at data, and you don't make a decision. Also, the strengths of intuitive thinking are quick, expertise, emotional intelligence, just move forward. It can have bias, it can be less reliable with limited experience. So, intuitive in decisions are mostly for people who are experienced and need to learn to develop their intuition. So, what do we do? Firstly, you need to identify what's your style. Do you decide like that? Or do you spend time thinking, analyzing, looking at numbers, and making a decision? I'll give you an example. Okay, when I do workshops, I go and ask what workshops I want to do intuitively, whatever comes up, whatever I want to enjoy it. Because when I do workshops, it's for my enjoyment first and for sharing data. Always like that. So intuitively, a thing comes up. Then when I create the workshops, I go deep into study. So decision of doing the workshop is intuitive. Everything after that, what needs to go in the workshop, what needs to be shared is all analytical. So I break it down. All right. So I'm going to teach you something of how to create intuitive and how to do analytical without wasting time. Okay. Let's do intuitive first. Whenever you need to make a decision intuitively, what you need to do is close your eyes. Think of decision you need to make. But before that, breathe. Imagine your breath all the way down to your stomach and now focus on your navel. Okay. Just focus on your navel. Now think of the situation or the decision you need to make. Whatever the decision comes up is intuitive. What I would ask you to do is take your time in knowing this, in figuring this out, seeing what the decision does. So make intuitive decisions for small decisions first and then go bigger and bigger as your experience grows. Analytical discussion. Always have a deadline to those decisions. You can analyze, but you will say, at this point, I will put an end and I will decide. Because no matter how much data you need, every day data is changing, every day data is changing. So you'll never come to a decision if you keep on analyzing. So you need to have a deadline. That's the simplest way to use an intuitive and analytical decision making. How do you practice? So let's say you start tomorrow. Tuesday, you practice, or Wednesday, you practice, or Thursday, you practice, or Friday, you practice, but practice alternatively. So one day is intuitive for all the decisions, simple ones to start with, and then the next day is analytical. Remember, intuitive creates with experiences, analytical needs to have a deadline. So let's do that. Also, you can mix the two together as well. You don't have to say either this or that. You can also mix the two together after you make an intuitive decision to prove it correct. You can also analyze it. So see what works for you. All right. If you have any questions, of course, I'm open to answering them. See you in the next session.